If you feel like you can't trust yourself anymore, like every decision you make might be wrong, this is why. This isn't just doubt. It feels like you lost control once and now you're scared it'll happen again. You have thoughts like, oh, what if I mess up again? And this makes you hesitate before acting. You experience loss of control. If you've ever experienced an episode, either a depressive episode or a manic episode, a low state or a high state, that's your brain fucking taking over and you lose all control. And then you don't feel like yourself. You when you remember that you said or did things that you don't fully relate to right now. And that creates a fear of yourself. And you have this core feeling within yourself. What if it happens again? Your mind became unpredictable. You don't know how you will feel tomorrow. Your state keeps on changing. All your decisions feel really fucking unstable. And you stop relying on your own judgment. And you wait, and you wait, keep on waiting instead of acting. You started playing safe. You avoid big decisions. You hold back even when you want to act. You shrink your life to avoid risk. And you think, oh, it's better safe than sorry, but it keeps you fucking stuck. If this is hitting you, like and subscribe so that this actually reaches the people who need it. So this is a true story about my last manic phase, my full-blown manic phase, and my feelings and thoughts after I got out of rehab, after staying 4 months in rehab. So my last manic phase was sometime in November 2022. It was a full-blown manic phase, a substance-induced manic phase. I was smoking a lot of weed, and I didn't know at the time that I have this bipolar gene. I thought, all right, I used to smoke weed in college with friends, so let me smoke some weed because it's helping me sleep. I was losing sleep. At the time, I did not know that a lack of sleep can cause a manic episode or full-blown mania. So there came up, like, I was really crazy. I knew something was wrong because I was a fitness and nutrition coach and I was advocating for people to sleep 6 to 9 hours a night. And I myself was sleeping around 20 to 30 minutes every night. So that was so fucking crazy. And during the episode, I was making a lot of stories on my Instagram, which got auto-shared to Facebook. Did you know that the maximum number of stories you can post in a 24-hour period, this is a fun fact, by the way, is 100 story slides. You can post 100 story slides in 24 hours, and after that, whatever you post gets pushed into the archive. So I was posting a lot of stories. I was rambling on and on and on about whatever I was talking about, fitness and nutrition, trying to help people because I thought that's the only way to reach people. So at the time, I did not know about marketing. I thought just share all your knowledge for free. And during one of those stories, while I was posting it, I knew that something was wrong. And I was smacking my head. And I said, man, I'm mentally ill. I need help. But whoever saw those stories, my friends and family, no one thought about it to give me the help I was asking for. And luckily, someone told the cops. The cops told the rehab. The rehab guys came, tied me the fuck up and took me because I was very aggressive at that point. I didn't harm anyone, but I was very aggressive. And I realized after going to rehab, there was something called STRP. It was in Kadabam's rehab. That's somewhere in the south of Bangalore. It's a great place. I believe I owe my recovery and everything to the psychiatrist, to the counselor, to my clinical psychologist, all from Kadabam's in the rehab. I stayed there for about 4 months, and they have something called, they had at the time, I don't know if they still have it. I guess they do, something called STRP, which stands for Short Term Rehabilitation Program. And they would always make sure you took your meds every single day. I took my meds every day, and as the months went by, I learned a lot about my disorder, my mental illness, and I was in the beginning, I was unaware of my disorder, about the bipolar disorder. So let's say I was a grade 1, which is unaware about your illness. Now, currently in 2026, on April 29th, yes, I am at grade 6, which is emotional awareness or emotional insight, which means I am fully capable of recognizing my warning signs, communicating to my treating team, and also functioning normally in society. So, at the time I got out of rehab, I have to give you all of this for context. So, I was over the top extrovert. I was always online. I was talking to everybody. I was hugging everyone on the street. So, right now, thinking about it, that's not who I am. That was me in 2022. And what happened was, I, after getting out of rehab, during all those rehabilitation, during those sessions with my clinical psychologist, she told me, Brian, an overly extroverted personality is a symptom of the manic phase. And I did not want to feel that way ever again, because it completely drained me. Because although I had high energy, even though I was sleeping only 20 minutes a night, when I got on medication, I got to the rehab, I started getting really tired because of a month of that, sleeping 20 minutes a day. That was too much for my physiology to take. So I did not, and that is very embarrassing thinking about all the stuff I did. I don't know, if I tell you what I did, you will probably laugh at me, but I'm not able to remember because there were so many racing thoughts and flight of ideas. So I believed when I came out of rehab, I was really silent. I thought I was actually an introvert because 31 years of my life, my whole life, was a lie. It was all a symptom of this manic phase. And I was like, holy fuck, what's going on? Am I really an extrovert or am I an introvert and became an extrovert because of my disorder? I didn't know. So I was really scared. I was confused. And no matter what anyone does to me, any kind of wrongdoing, I would never wish a manic phase on this person. And bipolar, I would do anything to not have bipolar. But now looking back, I believe that bipolar was a blessing and is a blessing, because I've lived a full life thanks to my disorder. I've done every single thing I wanted to because of my impulsive decisions. So there was a time I didn't trust myself after I got out of rehab. I didn't trust myself at all because I thought, am I making this decision because I am getting into a manic state or manic phase or a high state? Or am I making this decision because I really want to make this decision? So I didn't trust myself at all. And how I got better was after being on medication. Now it's been 3.5 years I've been on medication. I've been taking Lurasidone, so Duramax, 80 mg per night for a year, 40 mg per night for a year, and then 20 mg per night for a year. And I almost had a relapse. I'll talk about this story in another separate video, or if you want to know about it, ask me in the comments. And if I get 50 comments asking about my almost relapse, this was sometime in January, I guess, or February of 2026. So if you want to know about that, ask me in the comments. If I get 50 comments about that, I'll make a dedicated video just about that, because that's a long story in itself. So I don't want to add that here. So because I'm at grade 6, I even instantly told my clinical psychologist. She told me to meet the doctor. I told the doctor about the entire thing. And because I've been in communication with them for 3 years, my doctor as well, he didn't say anything. He said, all right, let me just increase your dose from 20 mg to 40 mg again. And now I feel great. I've been sleeping well, sleeping great as well. And now I feel because of the medication, I can trust all the decisions I make and I don't avoid big decisions. I make them, but I think about it and I consult my support system, who's my mom, who helps me to make these decisions. So, yeah, that's about it. You're waiting to feel normal again, but stability doesn't come first. You're avoiding action. No action equals no proof, and if you have no proof, you have no trust. How you actually rebuild self trust? Man, you gotta start small. I'm talking tiny decisions, teeny tiny decisions. And you have to follow through even when you are uncomfortable. And you have to build evidence of you doing the thing, not emotion, not feelings like, oh, I feel like doing this. No, no, no. You got to build evidence. You got to like, I did this, I did this, I did that. And building evidence, then you got to focus on consistency of doing it over time. Tiny decisions every day. Small drops make an ocean, right? So focus on consistency over perfection. And here's an identity shift for you. You got to trust yourself because you show up. Here's a realization for you. Self-trust isn't a feeling. It's built through repeated action. So start small, stay consistent, and you'll become someone you can rely on again. Thank you so much for watching.